Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Jean-Philippe Brun, and I'm the president of the association ADES 95, which contributes to promoting the development of social and solidarity-based economy in the department of Val d'Oise. First of all, let me thank you on behalf of all the stakeholders of this session. Let me also collectively thank the users team on behalf of our speakers for choosing our project and giving us the chance to speak this virtual European stage. So, what is the project from Pitchfork to Fork? And what are the involved stakeholders? As its name suggests, and very briefly because it will be explained to you later, from Pitchfork to Fork proposes a collective and concerted response to the sustainable and inclusive food challenge and issue on a given territory, Roissy, Pays de France. Roissy, Pays de France agglomeration is an intercommunality that brings together 42 towns and cities, a territory marked by contrast of 35,000 hectares and 350,000 inhabitants, located in a mixed urban and rural area of the Île-de-France region, in the north of Paris, and around the airport platform of Roissy-Charles de Gaulle, itself a major pool of tens of thousands of jobs. It's worth noting that the Sustainable Food Challenge, here at a subsidiary scale, is also a huge challenge on a larger national or European scale, in the users' context, and also on a global level. Since 2014, Roissy Pays de France agglomeration has committed to leading a strong strategy in favor of the social economy. This project is the result of a specific involvement of several municipalities, which comprise an agricultural and a rural territory for the food production, and an urban territory for the food processing and distribution. We are going to give you a brief overview of these two particular parts of our country. We will talk about Moussilneuf village and an initiative based in the city of Garges-les-Gonesse. This project also relies on the success of local entrepreneurial activities which provide essential goods and services. It also brings the creation of net inclusive and conventional jobs, such in the case of the association's RER. Its president is going to share with you the achievements of this social and innovative structure. This project from Pitchfork to Fork is built on advisory and support structures such as the technical services of the agglomeration that manage the project. This service is accompanied by the consulting engineers of Artemis that is going to detail its mission further. By giving the floor not only to the local authority, but also to the local initiatives and stakeholders, you will get a general overview of that what gave the project its power and makes it an emblematic social innovation. Let's now get into the details, the substantial content and the project phasing. Don't hesitate to ask your question in the chat. For this purpose, it's a pleasure to give the floor to Marine Corinthe, who is the charge of the Sustainable Food Project at the Roissy Pays de France agglomeration. I've just got time to sincerely thank all of you for your kind attention. Marine?
Thank you, Jean-Philippe. Good morning, everyone. My name is Marine Corinthe. I'm Social Project Officer at Roissy Pays de France agglomeration. Let me thank you for being there and joining us this morning to discover our food territorial governance named from Pitchfork to Fork strategy, supported by the Ministry of Ecological Transition named ADEM. It aims at relocating the food supply, ensuring access to all to local and sustainable food, and also fighting against food waste. This commitment to sustainable food contributes to dealing with the sustainable development issues improving food chain, promoting and changing new sustainable food consumption, or protecting resources by fighting against food waste. The context of COVID-19 has highlighted the extreme importance of the food security. Our mission is to develop the territorial resilience in agricultural and food sector. So, how does from Pitchfork to Fork take place on the territory? Our project builds on several means of action. The first mission is to support the development of the social and solidarity-based economy projects and initiatives working in support of sustainable food. For example, we supported the development of a food laboratory which supports itself 30 social entrepreneurs, food processing and distribution actors. We also are working on the building of a sustainable, ecological, urban agriculture center. The aim is to create 80 jobs accessible to our inhabitants within 3 years. We also support the two projects which will be introduced to you by Taoufik and Camille. No spoiler alert, I let them give us every detail of these two amazing projects. The second goal of the project is to support the changing food practices of the inhabitants through territorial animation. What does it mean? With the support of 4 local associations committed to popular education and sustainable development, we built an entertainment and educational program named From Seed to Fork. This program of activities contributes to raising awareness of inhabitants about sustainable food through a diversity of action, such as film discussion or gardening activities in the educational garden. Last year, we have raised awareness of 300 inhabitants, children and adults by leading 17 actions. We also choose to develop an educational program named Edible Program in elementary schools. The association named Edible School, L'École Comestible, is our partner to provide cooking and gardening activities directly in classrooms. Our aim is to provide food education and also raise awareness about food waste in our schools. The third action led by our project is to federate a dynamic ecosystem. From the outset, we try to make this strategy a group project aiming at uniting those involved in the different stages of food chain to create a dynamic, sustainable food ecosystem. You might ask, how we do this? From the beginning, we try to open up spaces for dialogue and cooperation between civil society, association, farmers, food processing and distribution actors and communities. The purpose is to define a genuine joint construction approach promoting a food territorial governance. Besides these annual events, we also launch thematic groups, working groups on the fight against food insecurity and also on the support for changing food practices. In order to face socio-economic issues on our territory, it is essential to better articulate good eating and also the right to sustainable food for all. This working group gives us a space to identify unmet needs, create new partnerships, provide inspiration to identify specific solutions and create new projects in order to promote local production, supply, and also raise awareness. Without waiting, I now invite you to watch a video on the project From Pitchfork to Fork. I am sure that it's going to give you a better illustration of our territory, inhabitants, and actions.
La communauté d'agglomération Roissy-Pays de France, ce sont 354 000 habitants, répartis au sein de 42 communes. Véritable mosaïque de territoires urbains et ruraux, l'agglomération se compose à 51% d'espaces agricoles. Labellisé Territoire French Impact depuis 2019, Roissy-Pays de France se mobilise pour renforcer sa résilience agricole et alimentaire en développant l'alimentation durable. Dans cette perspective, et avec le soutien de l'ADEME, l'agglomération a lancé le projet de la fourche à la fourchette, labellisé Projet alimentaire territorial par le ministère de l'Agriculture. Il vise à relocaliser l'approvisionnement alimentaire, rendre accessible l'alimentation durable et lutter contre le gaspillage alimentaire.
Bonjour, nous sommes Cécile et Capucine et ici nous sommes à Villeneuve-sous-Damartin, près des champs où nous produisons les légumes que nous vendons dans le magasin fermier ici, Bled comme Chou. Bled comme chou, l'objectif quand on l'a créé, ça a été de valoriser nos légumes en circuit court. L'intérêt du circuit court, c'est de pouvoir proposer aux consommateurs des légumes qui sont fraîchement récoltés chaque matin, qui n'ont pas voyagé et qui sont cueillis à maturité pour qu'ils aient le maximum de vitamines et de goût. On a également travaillé sur une offre de prix qui soit juste pour les consommateurs et rémunératrice pour nous qui sommes producteurs.
Bled comme chou, c'est avant tout une production de légumes, mais c'est aussi des fromages, des laitages, de l'épicerie qui vient en direct des productions de nos voisins agriculteurs, donc des fermes voisines, que nous retrouvons ici dans le magasin fermier que nous avons à cœur de mettre en avant. Les premiers retours que nous avons des clients sont assez positifs, notamment sur le goût, la transparence. Ils sont ravis de savoir d'où viennent les légumes et de créer ce lien avec nous sur les légumes.
Je m'appelle Virginie Gomez, je suis enseignante à Moussy-le-Neuf en CM1 dans le cadre du projet de la fourche à la fourchette et du projet municipal sur l'alimentation durable. Nous avons participé avec la classe à 5 ateliers de l'école comestible. On faisait des ateliers comme la fermentation, la découverte de la cagette de saison avec le maraîcher dans le but d'apprendre à mieux manger et moins gaspiller.
On a appris à cuisiner de soi-même, ne pas aller acheter toujours des produits dehors.
On a appris à mieux manger, on a aussi appris à ne pas gaspiller dans la nature.
On a partagé plus de recettes avec nos familles. Par exemple, les burgers végétales.
On a fait le potager pour manger plus de légumes.
Pour savoir de moins gaspiller.
Manger local pour éviter la pollution.
Au lieu de manger des produits qui viennent de l'autre bout de la terre.
Je m'appelle Carrie Mariade, j'habite à Goussainville. Je travaille au 1959 en tant qu'agent en restauration. Je prépare des entrées froides, des plats chauds et je fais des assemblages, des dressages et des préparations de commandes et des accueils des clients. Au restaurant 1959, il contribue à changer le regard sur l'alimentation au niveau de plats variés, manger équilibré, choisir des produits locaux et bio aussi. Mon regard il a changé sur l'alimentation par rapport à la provenance des produits. Et je commence à manger plus équilibré, plus varié et plus sainement. Au sein du restaurant 1959, j'ai gagné plus de confiance et des capacités sur mon projet professionnel.
Notre territoire tire sa force de sa diversité entre ses zones urbaines, son cœur agricole en Seine-et-Marne et ses importantes surfaces céréalières en Val d'Oise. Pourtant, tous nos concitoyens n'en bénéficient pas à égalité et subissent une alimentation industrielle moins saine faute de moyens. Notre ambition est donc à la fois de raccourcir le chemin de la fourche à la fourchette, mais aussi de le rendre performant économiquement pour le démocratiser. C'est un dispositif labellisé, reconnu par le ministère de l'Agriculture et de l'Alimentation. Nous y travaillons dans nos cantines scolaires avec des repas végétariens produits localement. Nous cherchons à stimuler l'écosystème des producteurs pour fixer les vocations et nous promouvons les initiatives de l'économie sociale et solidaire qui inclut et sensibilise les citoyens acteurs de leur propre alimentation. Actions anti-gaspillage, économie circulaire, AMAP et autres jardins partagés.
Of the actions led by the projects, from Pitchfork to Fork. It's essential to remind you that before being this global food governance, this project is based on local initiatives and it continues to integrate and support new projects and actions that are committed to creating social innovations. Let's begin with the association Réseau d'échange et de restauration named RER. Taoufik, could you tell us more about this association and the role it plays in terms of accessibility to sustainable food?
Thank you, Jean-Philippe.
You please.
Hello, everyone. So you just seen in the video the restaurant that RER in French operates in the train station of Gare Charcel. This restaurant has been opened 2 years ago with a unique ambition, serving healthy and affordable food to the inhabitants of the territory, including the 30,000 people who travel each and every day in the train station. But our project is not only about serving food. As you've seen in the video, we also employ people who were far from employment. So by working with them, by training them, we help them to get self-confidence in a cozy environment. It's very important. We have designed the restaurant so that it's cozy and that our employees feel safe and happy about working each and every day. And we do that so that they can move towards sustainable employment after having working for us. So just to give you a couple of figures, we've been employing a bit more than 20 people in the past 2 years. We do employ 10 people today. And besides the restaurant, we also run a kitchen, a food lab that is located in Goussainville, in which we incubate entrepreneurs who want to test their business model before launching their activities. And we do also produce food from waste food so that associations can serve them to customers, people without means, and so on. So this is mainly what we do in the restaurant, which is located in the train station of Gare Sarcelles.
Perfect, perfect. Your association has been working on the ground since about 2 years. Could you come back on some of the limits that you met during the development of this project?
Yes, Jean-Philippe, I can. Well, I would say that the first limit is that we work with various organizations. So the restaurant is located in a train station. So we work with SNCF. This is to SNCF that we pay the rent each and every month. Then we have been founded by private foundations at the beginning because we needed to equip the restaurant, to design it. We also work, and it's very important, with local authorities, regional authorities, who bring not only public subsidies, but also knowledge and network. We'll come back on that. We work with local actors, NGOs, schools, because they bring us customers, but they bring also to us the people that we employ. And then we are located in a disadvantaged neighborhood. It's very important to understand that people in the area, they are used to pay at least 2, 3, 4 euros for their food. And we want to bring them healthy and affordable food. So giving this context, I would say that working with those various organizations, it's complex. And it's complex for a young association that started without money in a restaurant that has to prove that it can serve and deliver its social mission. So this is the first limitation. And the second limitation is about the business model. As I said, we want to serve healthy and affordable food. And we cannot do that by pricing the meals to the real price. When I say real price, is that if we take into account the social value that we bring by hiring people, by working with local associations, the authorities, and by delivering healthy foods, we couldn't do that alone. We have to do that with working with local and regional authorities. So those are the two limitations: various organizations and defining a sustainable business model that involves all the players.
Thank you, Taoufik. About the authority, especially, how Roissy Pays de France agglomeration supports you in the development of your project, concretely?
Well, it's very concrete. So we could easily imagine that Roissy Pays de France agglomeration could work as a back office for us, but it's not the case. They are a crucial partner. I think that without them, we won't be there today. Not only here, but I will say our restaurants. So there are, let's say, 3 main roles that Roissy Pays de France plays. First one, they are connectors. They connect us each and every day to various organizations with whom we need to work to deliver the social mission, but also to integrate ourselves into the Pitchfork to the Fork projects, so connector. Secondly, they help us to navigate through the administrative tasks, but also, contracting, discussing with local and regional authorities. It's not always easy, especially for us. We don't have the cultural codes, so they are a crucial partner for that. And lastly, and it's very important, they bring us knowledge, and that they challenge our ideas and our projects. It's like a twin for us, because they know the territory, because they know their mission, because they know the people. They are the best people in organization to guide us through our project and advise us really in relation to the project we want to launch. So I hope it's clear, and I hope I highlighted the role of Roissy Pays de France agglomeration.
Thank you very much, Sophie, for this lightning and very inspiring experience. Thank you very much. The Association of RAR is one of the outstanding examples of players on the social and solidarity-based economy which succeed to identify the population's needs and local challenges. Thanks to its territorial anchorage, RAR also knew how to work with the entire dynamic ecosystem of support, partners, and Roissy Pays de France agglomeration to broaden the global dynamic. And now, let's switch to another type of player committed to developing an innovative project to strengthen the access to sustainable food. Camille Dehu is the Sustainable Food Project Manager in the city of Moussil-Neuf. Camille, could you explain to us how and why the city of Moussil-Neuf chose to build its own local food loop? Thank you.
Thank you, Jean-Philippe, of course. So I'm Camille, I work for Moussil-Neuf. So since 2017, Moussil-Neuf has been developing a local and social food loop around the school canteen of the village. So the project is entitled Eat Better, Waste Less. So this loop takes roots, as you can see on the photo, in the fields with the equipment and the provision of municipal parcels for the growing of organic fruits and vegetables. Then these fruits and vegetables reach our plates thanks to the installation of vegetable distributing machines. You will see it afterwards. And it reaches children's plates thanks to the school canteen. So the model that the municipality chose to develop is a multi-actor model. So it brings together two private companies. So a private organic market gardener that is called Châtelain Maraîchage, that you can see on the presentation, is in charge of market gardening over 3.2 hectares. And then a private catering company in charge of preparing school lunches on site using the local vegetable production. So you can see it's called Gérès Restauration. And then a non-profit organization, the association called Equalis, who promotes social inclusion through the plantation and the management of the municipal orchard over 5 hectares. And at last, the municipality, so a public entity, who is in charge of leading the orchestra, let's say, and invest in the infrastructure. So you can see the drilling, and then the greenhouse and the distributing machine and the municipal parcels. So the objective of the project, they are multiple. So first, we wanted to relocate and to diversify the food supply for the inhabitants of the municipality and for the children, of course. So it's important to know that the region of Paris, called Île-de-France, as many major urban areas, is dramatically dependent on the outside for its provision of food. For example, so here on the photo you can see that the region, it's not very clear, but the clearer area is the agricultural land. So we have like half of the territory who is agricultural land, but it's mainly cereals. as an example, to understand, for each 100 of vegetable that we eat in the region, only 10 kilos were grown in the region, and it's only 1 kilo for the meat. So we are dramatically dependent on the outside. So the role that the municipality wanted to play is to fight to gain to go more for resilience and autonomy, food autonomy. And then the second objective is to raise awareness among the local residents and the children about food and food waste, and how the way we eat and grow food is deeply related to the fight against climate change and the erosion of biodiversity. So of course, the municipal parcel that we lend to the market gardener and the association, they are grown according to the specification of organic farming. But also we try to explain to all the stakeholders why it is so important. So on the photo, you can see the market gardener in the school explaining to the children the different vegetables that they grow. And then we try to, you can see the children planting trees also on the orchard. And we try to implicate them all the time. And then the third objective is to develop a strong social component by giving people in social and professional distress the opportunity to discover a wide variety of food-related professions. And why not to give rise to vocation? So for this purpose, we have two major settings. So on the one hand, we have the job integration workshop that is led by the Association of Equalis, who welcome and supervise like 8 to 10 employees in inclusion process. And on the other side, we are part of a European project that is called, maybe we can go on in the, here. So it's called Imagine, and the purpose of the project is to support training in market gardening profession for young people in distress. So for this purpose, the municipality works together with existing social structures that are used to work with young people. And then we will soon start to receive them on the different areas of the project and with the different actors of the project, so that they can discover all this profession. And so, Patrice, maybe you want to add something? Or?
Yes. It's the time now to Patrice to have to speak. Thank you very much, Camille, for this explanation and this very inspiring exposé. Patrice, now, you work for Artemis, a consulting engineering laboratory that supports the agglomeration on its food governance and the new cooperation in the case studies of Food Local Loop. As an expert of the new partnerships framework, how the example of Nusinov is also an outstanding illustration of the new approaches developed by local authorities to better respond to public policy challenges. If you please, Patrice.
Indeed, Jean-Philippe. The Nusinov example illustrates well the dynamics that local authorities seek to impulse in order to better answer to public policy issues. First of all, setting guidelines that seek to act on several dimensions in an integrated way. Agricultural and food issues are good examples. They deal with space planning, agricultural practices evolution, and professional integration, implementation of new distribution systems, new consumption practices, environmental impact estimations, and social issues linkage such as health. None of public or private organization can handle alone all dimensions and activities, as shows Camille. In many situations, local authorities entrust associations or companies with some of those activities through public agreements. However, those agreements are often conceived as simple services that place the economic organization in a subcontracting position. some local authorities wish to act differently, developing solutions with associations, SSE organizations, and also private organizations. Here, we are moving away from a subcontracting logic. The Mousseline municipality perfectly illustrates this ambition. It is a new orientation that forces politicians and services to change the way they work.
Thank you very much, Patrice. Camille, I turn to you once more. What are the ingredients for the success, and also what are the pitfalls to avoid with this project?
So the ingredients, I would say 2 large cups of political will, first of all, and maybe a level of technical competencies to go for the funding and choose the right material and infrastructures, and maybe a tablespoon of legal knowledge and a good pinch of mediation. Joking aside, such a multi-actor model is a challenge in itself. Who says plurality of actors means plurality of logics and objectives and understandings and interpretation. And the slightest annoyance from one actor can help dismantling the whole machine. Your carrots are too dirty and they are too small, would say the chef to the school canteen, to the chef of the school canteen to the market gardener. And I had planned strawberries for my menu of tomorrow, and you don't have them. And then the market gardener who would say, "Yeah, of course. How can you plan your menu 8 weeks before? It's not like this that we can work." So you have a lot of different interaction like this. For example, also between the municipality and the association. We lend a tractor to the municipality, but then if we have a problem on the tractor, who is responsible? The association, the municipality. So it's always a game of mediation. And of course, everyone is under pressure for a lot of different reasons. So each actor can easily find motives to stop their collaboration and compromise the project. So the good cooperation of the actors is a key success of the project. And concerning the inclusion area, maybe also, so we are dealing with European Social Fund, so ESF, and also ERDF. So this is also another set of complication of challenging for such a small municipality like ours. And of course, this cooperation, this need of cooperation depends on a dedicated position like mine, but also when possible on the support of other institutions with the innovative project engineering capacities like Artemis or the agglomeration. And maybe to conclude on a positive note, when the cooperation starts working, what a pleasure. When you see the monitoring curves of the local vegetables in the menu increasing, or the chef congratulating the market gardener for the quality of its produce, or you can test a very good pot-au-feu at the school canteen, then it really starts to make sense and help everyone.
Thank you for the very good pot-au-feu, Camille.
Yeah.
Patrice, now, Camille just underlined how cooperation is challenging. Could you first give us your definition of cooperation?
Yeah, the cooperation is not a moral issue. It is a very concrete work issue, as shown Camille. To cooperate in one's own work means to understand the work issues of other people. For a politician, it means to understand the company managing issues. For a farmer, is to understand the cook issues, etc.
And now, please, could you specify to us the reasons or elements that make this cooperation is quite complex?
Because it's a new way of acting. The municipality has to invent new agreements and specify the method of acting together. This means that the municipality needs to change its relationship with economic organizations. This obliges the municipality to understand the economic challenges of those organizations. What are the economic questions that arise in the relationship between municipality and both a farmer and the kitchen manager. Camille told us about a communal plot of land is given by the municipality to a private farmer in order to produce fruits and vegetables. In return, the farmer must supply the school's canteen. It is immediately clear that the economic relationship paradigm is changing. The farmer must deliver the canteen city first. This will define in a way the production, what kind of vegetable he must plant. If the farmer decides on his own, he will choose the easiest and the most profitable production. In Moussilneuf, the farmer must discuss with the municipality and with the canteen manager. He no longer decides alone. These are some questions that Moussilneuf partners are facing. Those few questions are basic questions for any economic activity. First, what is the value that we're trying to produce? Second, how do we organize ourselves to produce this value within the company and with the partners, the beneficiaries? Third, how is value recognized? How is the economic organization remunerated? And what becomes the created monetary value?
Thank you. And in this context, Patrice, how can social and solidarity-based economy be a resource to answer this question and issues?
Social and solidarity-based economy is a resource to respond to these questions and issues. First, the value created by SSE organizations is almost always focused on a response to social needs and environmental issues. SSE is useful. Second, the governance is democratic, and the created monetary value serves the project. And a large proportion of these organizations act closely with local authorities. In the territories, there is an accumulation of experiences and practices, and closeness is thinking. That are all advantages, but other challenges exist. First, for local authorities. In an existing local economy, SSE organizations are not only the only economic players around. The challenge lies in getting as many as possible of those other economic organizations to change their model in order to better serve population needs. That is what Moussilneuf is showing through helping the evolution of two traditional economic actors as the farmer and the kitchen manager. And for social and solidarity economy actors, there is also a challenge to run out from the industrial logic and industrial model that dominates the good and service productions. It is possible to be a SSE organization and use the same productivity assets as a traditional organization, being in competition with it, facing the same risk, workforce, income model tensions, and at the end, having difficulties in creating the expected service value.
Thank you very much, Patrice. I had to be the last time to ask you what you are saying, explain why the agglomeration community has set up dialogue spaces and consultation between civil society, associations, farmers, transformation, food process, and commercial services and local authorities. Do you agree about that?
Yeah, the Roissy France agglomeration community wants to rely on social and solidarity economy operators' assets in order to develop answers to its sustainable development challenges, but also by creating a more global vision on economic model issues. The objective is to succeed in creating ecosystems where local authorities, social and solidarity economy organizations, and other more traditional economic organizations cooperate. This is a valuable condition to be able to make links between those who are beyond the pitchfork and those who are beyond the fork, to help economic organizations in their changing process and discuss with them the meaning and value of their goods and services production, and to better answer to population needs, employment, quality food access for all, local quality of life for all. The economic frame used to build this new approach is called FCE, Functional and Cooperative Economy. This frame invites us to discuss how to create value, how to recognize economically and monetarily this value. It invites us to move away from value chain relationships, from relationships between other givers and service providers, and rather promote ecosystems. It invites us to move away from simple coordination to rather engage real cooperations, which invite each state to understand other stakeholders' issues and pay attention to them when working together. I repeat, social and solidarity economy practices are a real asset. Let's help the women and men involved in these structures to work on their fragility. Let's help them to move forward from a less industrial to a more service-based economic model. And let's create the right condition for these actors and local authorities to act in cooperation in order to bring with them other traditional economic organizations.
And the conclusion is for Marine Corinthe, manager of this project.
Thank you, Jean-Philippe. Thank you to all of you for these transversal regards. As you could see, our approach relies on local initiatives that stimulate and foster the building of more ambitious and common territorial projects. In order to empower our ongoing approach to develop a systemic change project, the agglomeration chose to develop a territorial food project. Thanks to the one-year experience of our project, the Ministry of Agriculture recognized the project from Pitchfork to Fork and labeled it as an emerging territorial food project. So now we are looking forward a territorial food project that aims to support the structuring of the local food sector, promote social innovation and experimentation as a development framework, promote the access to all to local, sustainable and good quality food for inhabitants, and also foster the employment, the development of businesses and trainings on sustainable development and ecological transition, and finally, anchor the strategy on our territory by dialogue, cooperation, and partnership. So now the end of our presentation, but before we collect some questions and give you the floor, let us ask you some questions with a poll. So yes, you can. We can. Okay, so now just on the screen, the first question: what is the investment cost of the local food loop of Moussy-le-Neuf? There, you have to choose between several answers choice: 1,075 euros or 2,089 euros. Sorry for my English. And finally, sorry.
Thousands.
and sorry, 400,053 euros. You can just answer the question.
Est-ce que ça marche?
Is it working?
There's about 1 minute for the response, for the answer. Does it function?
C'est lequel? Peu importe. C'est juste. Ah, c'est bien. Oh merde. Bon, vas-y.
Do we have,
Okay,
do we
so,
have a response?
So the answer was 453,000 euro, because it includes the investment of the greenhouse and also the drilling facility and also the all the transformation of the school canteen. So the transformation of the school canteen in itself is like 185,000 that's it, euro. And this doesn't include the because we bought some land for the orchard, and it doesn't include the
in France.
l'achat des landes, des terres, quoi. Yeah, the acquisition of the land. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe another question?
Yes, sure. Let's go for another question. So, since the creation of RER, how many people have been supported by the association? Okay.
So first choice 5, 12 or 24?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And you did it well. It's about 24 inhabitants of Roissy Pays de France agglomeration that have been accompanied in their social and professional integration. And we can say that 80% of them found a job after the experience in the association. So thank you, you did it well. And
maybe there is the last question?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so in last year, how many meals have been produced in the food laboratory that Taoufik talked about before? I let you choose.
Read the number.
Read the proposition.
The very big numbers.
Big numbers.
Yes. Which is the right one? Aha, good answer. Only one mistake.
Yes, good answer. It's the right answer. About
476,000 meals.
Yes, that have been produced in the food laboratory.
Yeah.
By 4 social entrepreneurs. Is that exactly?
Yes, and a social enterprise also.
Okay.
So yes, it's just a figure, but to understand, you better come here, and we will show you the food lab, the city of Moussi-Neuf, and the restaurants. So figures are figures, but it's better for you to come here.
Okay, so we have some minutes left.
Yes, because before closing this session, maybe some questions by the chat.
No questions.
No question by the chat.
Merci pour cette belle présentation, expérience qui doit être promue et soutenue par les territoires et l'Union européenne. Okay, thank you. Merci, Carole.
Thank you for your attention and good session to everybody. Thank you.
Peut-être qu'il y a des questions.
Maybe.
On peut leur demander s'ils ont des questions.
If you have other questions, just ask them.
Yes, we have 8 minutes left. We will also be interested in knowing who you are. So, for instance, Anna, you say thanks. So your thank is welcome. So yes, you see me. Sorry.
No. We don't see you.
Okay. So if you don't have questions, at least you can share with us in the chat who you are, why did you participate to this session? Because we are also interested. Oh, we have one question.
Yes, which financing exists to support social innovation initiatives such as these?
Mm-hmm. The different sources, Europe, evidently, the authority, the department, maybe.
The region.
The region finances half of the orchard, so to buy the acquisition of the trees,
French
and
state.
also, of course, the agglomeration.
Government.
The French state also.
Yes, the government.
And I will say, because I mentioned it, also private companies or foundations. They are more and more interested in social innovation. So it's minor yet, but we can count on them to fund the projects.
And the proper activity of the project, maybe?
Yes,
It's a hybrid model.
So I think there is a question for me.
Yeah.
So how can someone join the Food Lab and use the utility? It's a good question, Anna. Thank you very much. So we've been working with our partner, with Roissy Pays de France Agglomeration, to launch a kind of call for proposals. So basically, we with other partners, we informed that we were looking for entrepreneurs that were interested in testing their business model into the Food Lab. We last year with Marine and some other people, we reviewed something like 30 projects, 30 entrepreneurs, and we selected a third of them that we accompanied for 6 months. So basically, we launched the call for proposals, and we rely also on partners to inform in the networks people who might be interested. And for the using of the utility, it's very flexible. It depends on the entrepreneur. Some entrepreneurs needed to use in a very intense way the equipment, and some others were less interested. So it depends. And there is a question from Carole. Part du financement privé. So basically, the share, the percentage of a private funding. To be honest, I didn't calculate it, but I will say that when we launched the restaurant, and then Camille might answer, but when we launched the restaurant in the train station, our first fundings came from a private foundation. At that time, we didn't have a legal structure. The restaurant wasn't working. So just to give you an example, then, of course, public subsidies and public partners have been involved very importantly, but I would say that it depends. And it also depends on the people we meet, because usually the private funding depends on the people we meet. So just maybe to give you a figure, it's 1/3 of private funding and 2/3 of public funding. Thank you for the angel who gave me the right information.
Thank you for the nudge.
And Camille, maybe you can.
Yeah, in Moussil-Neuf, we don't have like private donors in itself, like a foundation. It could be, it's an idea, and we thought about it, and we didn't have the time until now to go for it. But then I don't know if we can say that the investment of the private actors of the project, because the market gardener is investing in the land, so it's not a donation, but it's kind of a private contribution, of course.
Okay. But your last question, maybe? No question?
Okay.
So we can close this session?
Yes. Yes. Thank you for your question. Thank you for your participation and attention.
Le document.
Ça marche pas.
Okay. Thank you to all of you.
Maybe you can have our contact by the chat, or no, maybe not on the chat. If you have more questions, or
and we make our registration on the uses platform registration, so we can also continue to talk.
And please come. You've seen the video, you've seen us here, but please come. There are beautiful places to see.
Bye-bye.
Thank you to all of you.
Bye.
Bye.